It's time for another beer review. This is the third and last beer from Mainebrewguy. It's Black Rye IPA. I was looking through the recipe, and it's a pretty interesting recipe. I think it's not your traditional black IPA. I have had a lot of black IPAs. It's a style that I like a lot, but I do prefer the more traditional Cascading dark ales. The ones that are just a carafe of 3 with a lot of hops. This one doesn't have a lot of the hops, so I'm not expecting it to be very, very hoppy. And I've only had one Black Rye IPA, and that's the Wookie Jack from Firestone Walker, which is an excellent beer. But I'm not really expecting this one to be a lot like that. So it's going to be interesting. I did let this warm up a little bit. It's probably around 50 degrees, maybe 55. A little bit of sediment in there, not very much. Very black, as expected. This does have chocolate malt in it as well, so that lends a little bit of blackness to it. Has a very, very light red tinge to it at the bottom of the glass. About a finger ahead. Head's nice and kind of an off tan, not quite as tight as like a stout. So I'm not expecting the head to stick around for too long, although it looks good. Yeah, so thanks a lot, Mainebrewguy. Go check out his channel, by the way, guys, if you're not subscribed to him. He's got a lot of great projects going on. He's doing the hop trade for guys who are growing hops at home. He's also heading up forming a homebrew club for us for some of us guys on YouTube. So cheers to you, Mainebrewguy. That's actually got more hop aroma than I thought it was going to have. This is all Centennial, and you do get that kind of orangey, piney kind of aroma on it, and the dark roast malts and stuff kind of come through as well and kind of blend in with that aroma. So I think the aroma is very nice on this so far. Really good. Yeah, that smells hoppier than I thought it was going to be. And there's a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of roast. It really melds in very well with the hop aroma. You know, normally it's one or the other, something like that. On this beer, it really comes together very well. Well, this is about 9% rye, which I think is a little bit on the high side. I haven't brewed with rye, I don't know that much about it, but I do know if you use too much it can be very overpowering. And I do love rye beers, commercial ones. I've just never brewed with it myself. Cheers. That's really intense. That rye is very powerful in this beer. Made the sides of my mouth pucker up. A little bit astringent. You get chocolate and roast, especially in the back end and the aftertaste. A little bit of hop character there, but the rye is really coming forward quite a bit on it. If you're a person who likes rye, like I am, then it's not offensive if you're not into rye. It's maybe too astringent, too powerful, because it's got a whole lot of flavor. You get a little bit of spice in there. The front is a little bit sweet. That's where you get a little bit of hop. sweetness in there, but not a whole lot. You get that, and then all of a sudden the rye just attacks your taste buds and finishes kind of dark and roasty. A little bit thin on the mouthfeel. I think it, which is not a bad thing for a black IPA. Generally, that's pretty acceptable. The acidity from the rye malt comes through as well. A little bit of acidic tone there. That kind of melds with the sweetness up front. Yeah, I think this is a good beer. I know that I'm pretty sure on this one Mainebrewguy wasn't super happy with it. Might be able to take down the rye a little bit, bring up the flavor hops a little bit. But that big punch in your face from the rye is actually very interesting for me. I've had a lot of rye beers where the rye is probably cut in half. I think 5% is normally what they usually do. I had like a red rye IPA recently from a commercial brewer that was also very intense, and it had this intensity of rye, but also an intensity of hops. This beer doesn't have the hop intensity, and that's what kind of makes it interesting. I don't know if I would completely. I mean, the black IPA style is really has, everyone has their own take on it almost. There's a lot of deviation from the original, the original versions of that. So I think it's in style enough to be a black IPA. You don't get any alcohol in it. Yeah, and as it warms up, the spiciness from the rye is really the dominant flavor, and I like that. I like that a lot, actually. So this is a very interesting beer. It's a powerful, flavorful beer, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you're looking for. And definitely ought to drink this one warm. Yeah, it's getting better as it warms up. Some of the astringency goes away, and the rye flavors, the subtle rye, spicy flavors really come out. So, Mainebrewguy, I think I don't know which one would be my favorite, but I don't think that this is in any way, shape, or form a bad beer at all, and it's I enjoy it. It's very unique. I've never had something quite like this before. I think with age, it's going to get better. Not with a whole lot of age, but 3 or 4 months down the line, maybe even longer, it's going to be a really kick-ass beer. So thank you very much, sir, for sending this to me, and cheers to you. And have a good night. Happy Homebrew Wednesday.